December 10th, making our way through January. December 10th, January 10th. What am I saying? 2022, we are ready to go, baby. I hope everyone is feeling good after a refreshing weekend. I know that it was for me. And I'm ready to start to show you guys how I'm putting together the concepts which are going to be important for us to build on with exercises coming up over the next few days. So thank you all for tuning in again. Hope you guys are feeling alive like I am, ready to hit the ground running this week. So let's go ahead and get into the material for today. Imprints and mental mapping. What does any of this stuff mean? And why is this relevant, especially for traders? So I'm excited to show you guys what I mean by all of this stuff. So before we jump in, actually, let's go ahead and take 3 deep breaths in and out and get ourselves ready to take in this information. With each breath in, taking the positive energy around you. With each breath out, release any negativity, stress, tension that you may feel anywhere in your body. Woo! All right, that feels good. So imprints. So what do I mean by imprints? Imprints are what drives our thoughts and our behavior. So this concept I first learned from this book called The Diamond Cutter. If you guys haven't heard of that book or haven't read it, I would highly recommend it. It's one of the books that has changed my life personally. And it takes the concepts from ancient Buddhism and looks to apply that to our everyday lives, and especially if you're running a business. So imprints are basically how we shape our reality. Yeah, they color our reality. So there's nothing inherently wrong with having or not having some imprints. There are just going to be consequences for anything that we have, for any imprint that we have. And usually the imprints that we're talking about that we want to change are the ones that are leading to unintended consequences or unintended failures, unexplainable failures, let's say. So what do I mean by an imprint, right? A simple example, this is what the author from the book talks about in his TED Talk, is I have this thing right here. What is this? For most of you, you'll say this is a pen, or in any other language, it's also synonymous with being a pen, something, it's a writing tool, yeah? Fine. Now, what if I show this in front of, let's say, a dog, right? For him, what is this? This is most likely a chew toy. Now, who's right? Is it a pen or is it a chew toy? Now, let's say you're not in the room and it's just a dog. Is it correct for him to assume it's a chew toy? Or if you're in the room, the dog's not there, is it right for you to assume that it's a pen? The answer is neither one of you are right, neither one of you are wrong. It's just our imprint, what we perceive as to be our reality, which shapes this to be a pen, or this shapes for this to be shaped as a chew toy. The same way this will work in the markets. Yeah, you might be looking at a candle and it might be turning green, and for you, that's great, right? Because you're going long and you want the price to continue to go up. On the other side, you might be going short and that might be going against you. There's nothing inherently right or wrong about the green candle. It is just our imprint, which is causing us to perceive reality in such a way in which it might serve us or it might not serve us. And it could be conscious or unconscious. We don't know if something is working for our best interest until we bring it to our conscious attention. So just take a look at what the imprints that we might have in our day to day, which might be causing certain things to go our way or not go our way. So then the question arises, how do we change our imprints? How do we adjust whether we want certain things which we feel we may not be working for us? Yeah. So one way to do that is by accessing the subconscious mind. So the subconscious mind, or the unconscious, is anything that we are not directly conscious of. Let's put it simply that way, right? The other thing that the subconscious, you need to know about the subconscious, it stores everything. Yeah. So you might not remember what you ate 5 days ago, or you might not remember things from your childhood, or so many things that we might just not be consciously aware of that our subconscious stores, especially feelings, right? So bringing to conscious awareness what is unconscious is a mode of healing that we called hypnotherapy, where we access a deep state within us where the subconscious can then uh, has the platform to show itself in such a way that we can then start understanding what it's trying to do for us and potentially how we can align it with our conscious goals and feelings, right? So that's one way to re-imprint our imprints. Another way is through mental mapping, or a technology called NLP, Neuro Linguistic Programming. I know that's a mouthful. All that basically means, think of it as a way to map all the information that we are taking in. So we're naturally already doing this. Yeah. Naturally, there's too much information for us to be able to process at any one time, right? The clothes that we're wearing, the slight smell in the air, or the temperature, whatever the case is. If we are constantly taking in this information consciously, then we would be overloaded. We would not be able to do what we do on a day-to-day basis or on a moment-to-moment basis, because we would be overloaded with this stuff. Yeah. So what uh, NLP does is take that unconscious process of us paring down the information and creating mental maps that are as useful as we think they are, and making that process a conscious process. So the way we do that is uh, by focusing on context, focusing on our goals and outcomes, so that we can see, okay, for our specific goal, are we living out the values that are important for us? And from there, seeing what kind of information we're taking in which aligns with those values, or what kind of information we're taking in that does not align with those values, and see how that information is processed and stored in our internal database, our internal maps. Yeah. And once we understand how it's organized, then we can see, okay, how can we adjust it in a way that works for us? And how can we just be conscious of these processes? And in that way, we would be consciously re-imprinting our imprints, and thus our thoughts, our behaviors, our actions, everything like that. So the exercise for today is to just take some time. You don't have to like spend all day doing this, but just spend like maybe 10 seconds. Like, you have a free moment of time, instead of just, reflexively pulling out your phone and, scrolling through or doing whatever you do. Observe today what it is that you believe about yourself, and what it is that you're actively perceiving about your reality, that is then that is then influencing your thoughts, your behaviors, your actions. Yeah. Nothing for you to do other than just observe. Yeah. Again, like I said, there's no right or wrong about the imprints that you have. It's just what is causing you unintended consequences or unexplained failures. Right. And we'll deal with that part of it later on. But if you are able to understand how imprints imprint our life, then you're able to just be conscious of that process. And then from there, kind of mold it to how you want you to create your experience, how to create your own ideal reality. So that's it for me for today. This is January 10th, 2022, and I'm excited for this week. I'm going to be taking a look at the ES tomorrow and share with you guys my thoughts on that. ES, by that I mean the futures S&P index that I trade. And from there, just looking to build on each day. And we're going to have more specific and fine-tuned exercises and examples later this week as well. So all that to say, I'm excited. This is going to be a good week. I hope all of you are doing amazing and have had an amazing start to your Monday morning. Thank you all for tuning in. Until tomorrow, take care, guys. Cheers.